Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's classic poem, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. But, we're going to do this a little differently. I want you to imagine that I am that eager young apprentice, and I'm telling you this story straight from my own perspective. I'm looking back at this absolutely catastrophic mistake I made in my master's workshop. So picture yourself right there with me, surrounded by all these ancient spell books, right at the exact moment I make a decision that is about to spiral completely out of control.
I thought I knew enough. I was wrong. Man, that one thought pretty much sums up my deepest regret. This whole cautionary tale is the perfect illustration of how incredibly dangerous it is to wield power when you just don't have the wisdom to back it up. I had just enough magical knowledge to be, frankly, a massive hazard, and absolutely zero wisdom to handle the fallout of my actions. So let me walk you through exactly how my own unchecked ambition brought me right to the edge of total ruin.
Act 1. The Temptation. So, here's the setup. My master, who is this remarkably powerful sorcerer by the way, had just left the workshop for the day. That left me entirely alone. And honestly, with that solitude came a whole lot of temptation. You see, I was so utterly exhausted. I was doing this grueling, back-breaking manual labor, lugging these incredibly heavy buckets from the river over and over just to fill up a wash basin. It was miserable work. I just wanted a magical shortcut to skip all that physical toll, and I actually thought I was clever enough to pull it off.
The solution seemed so incredibly simple at the time. Step 1, I cast a spell to imbue this dusty old broomstick with life. I was literally commanding the elements. Step 2, I just ordered it to fetch the water to fill up the master's bath. And to my absolute shock and delight, the thing actually sprang to life. It was amazing. At least, until I realized the absolute absurdity of getting totally outsmarted by household cleaning supplies.
Act 2. The Escalation.
Okay, so at first, the spell worked like an absolute dream. The broom marches down to the river, comes back, and quickly fills the trough right to the brim. But then, this fatal flaw hit me, and the horror started setting in. I realized I perfectly remembered the spell to start the work, but I had completely, totally forgotten the specific check word, "you need to stop it." I know exactly how to unleash this magic, but I had absolutely no clue how to turn the darn thing off. Minutes literally felt like seconds as everything just fell apart. This relentless broom completely ignored my frantic shouting. Minute 2, the trough is full. Minute 5, the garden is flooding. But the broom just keeps marching, grabbing bucket after bucket. Next thing I know, the cellar is gone. By minute 15, the entire house is rapidly going underwater. I was literally suffocating in my own magical mistake.
Desperation completely takes over. And when you're that terrified, you just act irrationally. So, I grabbed an axe. I figured, hey, if magic isn't going to stop this thing, maybe sheer physical violence will. I swung that axe as hard as humanly possible and split the enchanted broom cleanly down the middle, just desperately hoping that would finally put an end to the deluge.
Act 3. The Reckoning.
Well, my attempt at violence completely backfired. 2 suddenly became the most terrifying number in the universe. C, the enchantment didn't break when I chopped the wood. Instead, it infected both fragments. Almost instantly, the two halves sprang right back up and transformed into two brand new, fully functional water carriers, fetching water at double the speed. The chaos just multiplied exponentially. I went from facing off against one relentless machine to battling a literal small army of scurrying broomsticks. There are buckets flying, water crashing everywhere. My master's beautiful home was turning into a complete, unmitigated watery disaster. I was pushed to the absolute edge here, quite literally drowning in the consequences of my own actions. But then, right when I thought it was truly over, the master returned. I cannot even begin to express the overwhelming, humbled relief I felt in that moment. With just one simple, quiet command, he silenced the spirits. He restored the brooms to their inanimate form just like that. Order was back, and my very chaotic lesson came to a sudden and extremely humbling end.
Power without wisdom. Looking back on the whole ordeal now, it really all boils down to one single concept: hubris, that excessive pride or self-confidence. It's wielding power without having the wisdom to actually control it. My massive failure in this story really just hammers home the profound dangers of unchecked ambition. I wanted all the status and the power of being the sorcerer, but I definitely hadn't put in the time to earn the discipline or the understanding you actually need to safely manage it. So I want to leave you with a question to ask yourself today.
When have you used tools or power that you didn't fully understand? I mean, sure, it's pretty easy to laugh at a foolish young apprentice fighting a piece of wood, but this parable is really a modern warning for all of us. Whether it's playing around with a new piece of technology, stepping into a brand new leadership role, or really just taking a shortcut you think you can outsmart, we all face these moments where our ambition completely outpaces our wisdom. Think about that the next time you're tempted to take a shortcut without knowing the check word to stop it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope it sparked some curiosity for you today.